What is up, YouTube? Sean the Average Angler, and we have kind of an interesting one here today. I typically do like the 5 best baits of the month that we're coming into. I'm going to do it a little different this time just because, you know, we all fish different parts of the country, different types of bodies of water, those kinds of things. So I picked 5 baits out, and I'm going to tell you why each one as we go over them. This is kind of a seasonal thing for me, but it's based off of a couple of lakes that I fish locally, which would be Berryessa and Clear Lake. Clear Lake being a natural lake, Berryessa being a dammed impoundment. Whereas if it was the California Delta, I'd pick some different baits. Okay, so we're going to go off of Clear Lake Berryessa, just because I think they would suit more people throughout the country. There is smallmouth in Berryessa. There is some smallmouth in Clear Lake too, but it's not a targeted species. So northerns may be a little different for smallmouth fisheries, but they do have a ton of great largemouth fisheries up there. So with that in mind, I picked out 5 baits. Okay, and some of these choices were sort of in lieu of, because I could fish them multiple ways, okay? The first one will most likely come as no surprise to those that watch the channel, and that is the Magnum Rage Bug. Okay, the reason I chose the Magnum Rage Bug is because I can fish it multiple different ways. I can flip it, I can pitch it, and I can fish it as a jig. So that's the only reason I left a jig out, is because I didn't want to give up a choice for a jig, which could also be flipped, pitched, and fished deep. But that is why I chose this, because what I can do on this also is it's a great bait to swim. Now I swim it along the bottom, close to the bottom, those kinds of things. You can see my swing head video that I did earlier. If you want to search a channel, it is there talking all about it. But anyway, that is my first choice. That's why, and again, I'm picking things because they're universal, but I do know that this time of year, I've had great success flipping and pitching to cover, but I've also had great success fishing deeper in rocks, rock piles, and ledges, okay? This is something I can do all of that with, just rigging it on different heads and that kind of stuff. Now, because it's post-spawn time, and you may have fry garters, you may have females kind of suspended up under docks, those kinds of things that aren't real aggressive, but they do need to eat. And this was part of my last video, is going to be the Yamamoto Senko. Okay, the Senko always catches fish, pretty easy to fish. It can be fished a ton of different ways. Again, weightless. Texas rigged, weightless, wacky. It could be fished Texas with a weight in front of it. You can flip it, you can pitch it, you can drop shot it, you can fish it on a jig head, you can fish it on a Ned head, Neko rigging it. It's just, you cover every column of the water depending on which way you rig it. The Senko is just a phenomenal bait, okay? That's number 2. All right, before we get into number 3, I'm just gonna do y'all a favor. Sometimes the things we don't talk about, okay? And this is gonna get in line because we're gonna be using stuff in a minute here that you're gonna want these. And this is the Pitbull Cutters. Now, the downside of the Pitbull Cutters is there's only one place I know of to get them. The upside to that is I'm gonna give you the link down in the description, okay? It's Monster Fishing Tackle, also known as OutdoorProShops.com. I will attach a link down in the description. These things are great, okay? They are heavy, so they're not gonna bounce out of the boat. I have a pair up front. I have a pair at the cockpit area. They're stainless, I believe. They will rust eventually, but if you take them out, clean them, and oil them every once in a while, you won't have that problem. They last a long time, okay? These are like 12, 13 bucks, something like that. They're not very expensive. They're very well made. They are version 2, so they made them. Everybody loved them the first time. They did make some improvements to them. Anyway, these are well worth the money. If you're looking for a pair of cutters, consider these. All right. They cut braid, by the way, very well without tension even on the line. So you don't have to pull the line tight. They will cut limp braid. Okay, now we're getting into a little more fun stuff. Okay, in my areas, and this is one of those baits that could vary depending on where you're at, okay? But a Squarebill, okay? Squarebill is a great way to cover water, and it's a great way to get fish to react to your presentation. It can be fished through cover, brush, tulies. Tulies is, depending on how thick they are, but you can fish it in front of cover, through weeds, snapping it out of weeds, around docks, run it into pilings. You get it around wood, bounce it off wood, okay? If you don't have cover, don't shy away from the Squarebill. You can create your own action. Change the speed you're retrieving it. Speed up, stop it, kill it, pick it back up again. Snap it like a jerk bait while you're reeling it. Make it dart around like it's trying to get away, right? That triggers bites. It's not just the Squarebill you need to do that with. It's chatterbaits, crankbaits, everything, right? Even on your buzzbaits. Pop it occasionally as you're retrieving it so it kind of, because it will trigger bites. All right. That is number 3. Number 4, I really wanted to pick a glide bait. Selfishly, I wanted to pick a glide bait. But I just didn't think it would suit everybody well enough universally. Although it should, I just don't think it does. So I went with the deep diving crankbait. You can pick any one you want. Whatever you guys have confidence. I love the 6th Sense. I also throw the Norman DD22s. I throw the Strike Kings, the 8s and the 10s, even down to the 6s. I'm not trying to sell you anything. This is honestly something I would have on the deck. Right now, on those lakes I mentioned, Clear Lake and Berryessa, which are very similar to a lot of impoundments across the country, those are what I would choose, okay? I'm probably gonna have 10 rods on the deck. These are the 5 that I'm thinking, no matter what, right? If I can only go out in the boat with 5 baits, these are the 5. Number 5 is a poppin' frog, okay? The reason I went with the poppin' frog is, again, it's universal. I can fish it over open water, weeds, tulies, docks, whatever. You can pop it, you can walk it. You don't have to just be pulling this over a mat. I'm not saying you do with other frogs, but the poppin' frog for post-spawn fish can be very, very effective. Think about poppers. Fish love poppers in the post-spawn in the summertime. Well, here we have a poppin' frog. You can get them in different sizes, different colors, whatever you are suited to. A lot of times in the morning, I'll start with a white one. I really love this color. It's called lava. It kind of covers the gamut. There's all kinds of red, little yellow in there. There's some black in there. Yeah, it just looks like a crawdad crawling across the top of the water. Anyway, that's number 5. It is time to get out and fish. Post-spawn. Wear your sun protection, folks. Skin cancer, serious business. You don't want to get none of that stuff. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. We will see you on the next one.